Hello everyone, this is Jesse100 here, welcome back to another video. Now today I've got a deck profile on my Raccoon deck, which is the deck I used in my last video, which is Duel Against Burning Abyss. So if you want to see how this deck performs after just seeing the overview of the deck here, or after I've gone through all the cards in the deck profile, you can see how it does. It's the video before this, so if you're watching it recently after I uploaded it, it should be pretty easy to find. If not, you can just search up Raccoon and it'll come up. Anyway, into the deck profile, I'm running 2 copies of Raccoon Pompoko. So it's normal, you get to special summon a level 2 beast from your deck and face down defense. But you can only not special summon. You can only special summon beasts for the rest of the turn, I should say. That's fine, because normally you're going to summon it after you've gone Obedient Scald, which always gives you the restriction of only beasts. So you're going to summon this guy 99.9% of the time is Tan. So when it's flipped, you get a special summon a level 2 beast from the deck. So then you can go for Cantosa, Mind Up Kitten, just to get some more pluses, or other cards like Cerebral or Valorphone if you want to go for some Synchro XYZ players, etc. There's some other options for what you want to set someone off Pompoko. The best one being Raikou. I'm not running it anymore as I don't think this deck really needs more destruction. Calantos is a card which already sort of does the destruction for you with Tan. Although Raikou does give you the 3 mills, which could be useful if you're playing cards like Aerzrock Sunrise or Burst Rebirth. So I'm seeing quite a lot of deck profiles for this Raccoon deck, and also Valorphone. It does just some stuff at the graveyard, so that's just other ways to set that up. There's some other options like Hane, Nimble Momonga, or called White Cat with a black tail, which is Penguin Soldier, except you need to bounce one of your monsters too. But yeah, Tantan's definitely the best option. So next up, only 3 copies of Junk Synchron. So everything other than Ryo in this deck is level 2, so if you've got something in your graveyard, you're always going to be able to special summon off this guy. And it gives you a bunch of options. You can either go for your level 5 Synchros, or if you have something else already on the board, you can go for a level 4 Synchro, or you can just, if you have something else, you can always stack up for an XYZ here, one of those 2 guys. Which is great. So next up, I'm running 2 copies of Cantosa. I'll run 3 if I could, but you can only run 2, as it's terribly clog if you run 3. Use a card you don't want to see on hand, basically, ever. You want it to stay on your deck so you can summon it and get the effect off. So basically, when it's special summoned by the effect of a beast, so in this deck, this little activate that as Tan or Valorphone, you get to target one of your opponent's cards, and go on card of the field, actually, and pop it. So this is just normally go for back rows with this guy, as you don't really need to care about monster removal. You have so many ways to do it when they're already on the board, like Kitten, Compulsory, Phoenix Wing, Karma Cut, Centaurea, if you want to go that way. And normally what you do is just Sandai, copy their attack and run over it. So you definitely don't need to do that. And back row is definitely the most important thing to pop with Cantos. That's what I do 90% of the time. I say is pop a back row unless there's something I really need to pop with it. Next up, running 3 copies of the Fabled Cerebral. Most people run 1 or 2 of it in this deck. One of the reasons I'm running 3 is because Unicorns is an amazing card. Sort of recently, in terms of this deck, even though there's quite a few sets out, Valorphone was printed, which allows you to get a discard, so it's a way to trigger it. And I'm also running Karma Cut and a Phoenix Wing, which will also trigger Cerebral. So I'm running 1 copy of Thundic and Ryo. So other than Pompoko, I'd say this is really the only card that when you normal summon it, it's definitely going to do something all the time, or most of the time. Yeah, it's a big body 99 attack, and it's got pretty good effects, a Mistake-esque effect, and then tribute it to negate a special summon, like an XYZ or a Synchro or whatever else it fits into that. So next I'm running 1 copy of Triota. So if you control another beast, you can target a face-up monster you control to have it give 1000 attack. So either you can use that, buff up your strongest Synchro, and then Sandai it for extra attack on a token, or you can just, strongest Synchro, strongest card in the field, or you can use it to buff itself to run over something. That makes it 22. You can buff something else to run over more than one thing, if you don't have the ability to do that without its effect. Yeah, pretty good, although I don't think it's useful at 1, as it doesn't really do too much other than have 12,000. Wow, that'd be really some 1200 attack, if you just have it in your hand. And then 2 copies of Valorphone. You can run 3 if you want. So you discard a card, then you get to target level 2 or lower beast, special summon it in attack, or face down defense. So you can trigger Calantosis, you can get Kitten live. Or you can, if you already don't need any more monsters, so you can just special summon a Tan in defense and then get pluses off him. You can discard Cerebral to get more pluses off that there. Last time running to go is a wind-up kitten. So you can target one of your opponents once it says bounce it back to the hand, although it can only be used once when it's faced on the field. So basically, it's like having 3 compulsories. You have your compulsory, and you have 2 kittens. Basically what kitten does. You can always book a moon it back to use this effect again. So that's it for the monsters. Onto the spells. I'm running 1 copy of Book of Moon. So basically just lets you use Tantan effect twice. You can reset the kitten to use its effect twice. One of the problems with this deck is it has a bunch of really weak monsters, so sort of just sit there doing nothing if you don't really have a way to get more than one out. So you sort of need a way to protect them, and Book of Moon is just one way to protect them with being a trap. Let's say they have like a decree off or something. It's just a way to be able to get your plays off. And you can also just use it against like Burning Abyss, which is on paper the worst matchup for this deck, because Dante is really, really annoying to get over, and even if you get over it, they're going to get pluses off their Burning Abysses anyway. There's only 3 copies of MST, so like I said before, Canatosa back is pretty big problem in this deck, and this is a pretty grindy deck and have a lot of slow, long games of it. So yeah, MST is just good in the long run for games like that, so just get rid of their traps when it's crucial, and then get your plays through, and then easy win there. Easily turn the tide, just want MST to stop whatever they're doing. Run 3 copies of Venus Skull, best card in this deck, so if you control no monsters, especially some of 3 level 2 or lower beast type, with different, well, they need to affect monsters with different names for your deck. Their effects negated and they're destroyed during the end phase, and you can assist them with beasts for the rest of the turn. So normally what you're going to do is you're going to summon Valerathor and then 2 others, and then you're going to normal summon one for your hand, and then you're going to go for Sandayu, detach one for a token, and then sync her up with Beast with a token, Valerathor and whatever else you have on the board. Or you can just go for 2 Sandayus and then get 2 tokens off of them if you want to go for that, or you can go for a Unicorn if you down something in your hand, or just a Sandayu token if you down something in hand. So you have a bunch of options off that. But it's basically if you open this card, it's a really, really high percent chance you're going to win the game, especially if you open it with Pong Poker, which gives you more pluses, like I already said. And to trap summoning, 1 copy of Bottomless, 2 copies of Breakthrough, 1 copy of Compulsory, 2 copies of Karma Cut, so buttons card of the dead, like Cantosa, you don't want to draw, and some of the cards you don't want to draw, like maybe Macrocosmos won't really work, Mistake may not do anything in the matchup you're up against. Yeah, and this is great removal, banishes them, so it's pretty hard for them to get it back. And you can also trigger Cerebral with it. And 1 copy of Macrocosmos, so like I said before, Burning Abyss on paper is the worst matchup, and then Macro works against practically pretty much everything else that's meta at the moment. Stop the Doll effects, stop Necros from banishing, the ritual spells for their effects, you stop heroes, stop Infernoids so they get banished instead of going to the graveyard. I think Macros is pretty good. 1 copy of Mirrorforce, so basically just to like remove a bunch of threats if your opponents get too many of them on the board. And 2 copies of Mistake, so this deck doesn't search at all, so Mistake is really good in this deck, especially with how many decks in today's meta search. So it just helps you there, stopping those. 2 copies of Phoenix Wing Blaster, same thing as Karma Cut, except you can also like go for back rows. And place on top of the deck so you can sort of lock them out if they sort of just have like a set monster, that's the only thing they do. You can Wing Blast, like lock them out for the next turn to be able to do anything, and then hit them and then do the same thing again if you have another Wing Blast. So it's not like a Thunder Chijori lock there, or Lightning Chijori, I can't remember what they changed the name to. No. One of them is the real name, one of them is the old name, anyway. Yeah. You can always sort this out for 1 Raigeki Blast, which I think is what Burning Abyss have been doing recently, but it's like 2 Phoenix Wing Blasts. 1 copy of Ring of Destruction, so sort of same thing with Breakthrough still, like I said, it's pretty grindy, so the more traps the better. I think Ring of Destruction is, pretty good trap. And last time I'm running 1 copy of Silent Warning, 1 copy of Vanity Temptress, so for the side deck, I'm running 1 copy of Beast King Barbaros. So one of the main weaknesses of this deck is like Skilled Rain, even though it's at 1 now. Still good if you just go into a Skilled Rain and Barbaros, boom, there's your 3000 attacker. You can always negate it. No, you can always, I don't know what I'm on about. But you can actually use this other effect in this deck. You can tribute 3 monsters. They summon from a Venus Skull, which in some matchups, so I normally say this against heavy back row like Tellarknights, etc. You're really going to hurt your opponent if you do this, so either they're going to need something to stop it so that they're going to negate its effect, which, but then they've got a 3000 beast it to worry about, or they're going to have to get rid of it with a trap, which will just get rid of this, their field will still be blown up, or they have nothing and they lose their field and you probably won the game off of this. Especially if you're going to be able to hit them for 3000 right after. I mean, 2 copies of Flying Sea. This is mostly for Burning Abyss again. Like I said, paper is the worst matchup. This is the way to stop them. Summoning one copy of Form of Power Whip Snake, so once per turn during either player's main phase, you can target one face-up monster on the field, swap its current attack and defense. So this is just a way to make your token stronger, or if you're playing against Burning Abyss or super heavyweight summons with massive defense and low attack, like Dante or like the super heavyweights, you can swap the attack and defense around, get a really strong token, and then destroy the monster. It's obviously going to have much lower defense now than they would have before. And it can also just help you in a pinch, like if you're summon something really strong and try and attack you, but it's got low defense, you can swap it around and then they'll be scared to attack. So it's like a pseudo trap in a way also. Running to go with the Spell Canceller, so it's sort of like Notoria Beast, except instead of having to go for the synchro, you just treat it like a token or an extra card that you've got with Venus School there. If you don't want to like normal summon one of your beasts, and just set that up there. And this deck's got spells. Spells are pretty prevalent in today's meta games, so Spell Canceller is really good in this deck. It's not the same thing with Vanity's Fiend, except it's just more Vanity's Emptinesses. It's not always great to have. I'm running one copy of Raigeki, but this is for any spammy decks. That's one of the problems to this deck is they summon a bunch of monsters. You're not really exactly going to get random X, you only really get around one of them at a time, and then they can use them to like further destroy you or whatever. So Raigeki is pretty good. I took up the Monarch Stormforth, so this is just for the Spell Canceller, the Vanity's Fiend, and maybe Beastkin Barbarous if I want to do that. When I took out his Fairies, this for Cleaves and just anything that was on spells just traps, continuous ones, so what have we got? Not Burning Abyss, Fire Fist, thank you, I don't know why I said Burning Abyss. Fire Fist, Black Wings, anything like that. Some really good continuous spells, etc. that you're going to want to get rid of. And then you can also use it to finish your opponent off, like maybe you can use it to store your own Mistake or a Macro, your own Emptiness, or your own Shadow Imprisoned Mirror if you side that in, just to finish your opponent off with the damage. Last time I went to go with Shadow Imprisoned Mirror. Basically, like I said, Burning Abyss the last matchup, and then it's also really good against other cards like other decks like Shadol's, Heroes, etc. Something that has dark monsters basically. It's normally going to be good against. So the next time I took up this with Armades, so this is what you're going to summon off Junk Synchron, or you can summon it with a Tuner, the token, and just any other beast. So basically, like I said in the Dr. Shea, Matt, Dose of Depth File, this can be a practically game ender if you're playing stuff like Yang Zooms, etc. that really rely on graveyard effects to stop them. Yeah. And I'm also running Frozen Fitzgerald, which is really precise requirements. A Dark Tuner, Junk Synchron, and a Beast type. Guess what, we're playing Beasts. So it really works in this deck. So what it basically is, just Armades is just a little bit stronger. But let's remove the effect part, so it only stops spells and traps. And also, when it's destroyed by battle, and it's the only monster you have, you can discard once to summon it in defense. So you can use it to get rid of anything dead or trigger Cerberus there. I'm running one copy of Herald of Arclight, so its first effect's pretty good, so just banish things sent from the hand or the main deck to the graveyard. But I'm using it for the second effect, where spell, trap, and monster effect has to be attributed to negate it. So this is the effect that I don't really think most people realise this card has, but it definitely does have this effect, and it's really good. In this deck, as you can start like a Mirror Force, you're often going to have quite a lot of monsters on board. You don't want it to get removed, so just use that to get the Mirror Force and go to win the game from there, more than likely than not. I'm going to cover Junk Warrior, so with the tokens you have, they can sometimes get really strong, like 3000s even sometimes. So, Junk Warrior is going to gain a really massive amount of attack if you go for him, and quite often there's going to be OTK if you go for him, pretty big token, and Sandboy over there. Obviously, the Notoria Beast, you can easily drop this down to 1 if you want to run an extra Centuria or other options like Cat Shark, or it's like more options in your level, your synchros, like maybe you want to go for Battlemonk, which starts running before I replace it for Hasta, or Armory Arm, which is another level 5 like Catasta, etc. Pretty run, but I like Notoria Beast because it's so really good, and you can always just normally use to summon one off a Bean that's Schooled. You can always then summon one off later with another Bean that's Schooled, or if you just happen to have a Earth on a token and just another Earth. So this is a new card that I'm running. This is going to be coming out in the TCG in a couple of days in the Megatins. Old Entity Hasta. This is a card I'm pretty excited about. So not only does it have 2300 attack, which is pretty good. When it's sent from monster going into the graveyard, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, equip it to that. Its effects are negated, can't attack, and when the Hasta goes to the grave, you take control of that monster. So basically, you completely shut down their monster, and then if you can destroy your own Hasta with an MST and to get control of their monster. So I mean, especially if you use it on their best monster, they're pretty screwed then if you do that. That's it for Sinkers. When took over the Fabled Unicorn. So, like I've already said, this deck often goes to grind games where you just end up top decking, and it's really easy to control. Your hand size limit. Your opponent either then have to hold cards off, or gonna have to just set them and hope get something good. And even if they it's like, haha, I've got one less card, and you can always wing blast a Karma cut as Unicorn's not the trigger effect is continuous, so it's always to negate it. So like your opponent can't use like Veiler or Maxi or something if they have one more card in the hand and you're like the Necros Sky that the cards negate or anything like that. So one of the reasons why Unicorn's a really good card. So next we see running one copy of Dino Magician. So during your M2, you're going to stack it over one of these guys. And then just add a little bit more attack, and you can just piercing. If you want to run another one of these, that's another thing you can take out the Turo Beast for. So I think it's a really good card. So I'm running 3 copies of Sandai. This is normally what you're going to go for in your extra deck. So what you do with him is you attach an Exorcist material to summon a Raccoon token, which has the same attack as the highest attack monster in the field. So you just a temporary attack. So for example, you buff it with the Chilter, it'll still keep that attack as long as it's on the field. And also, as long as you have another beast other than this guy, it can be destroyed by battle. So you can soft lock. Is it battle lock artifact? Yeah, battle lock artifact. So you can soft lock your opponent with 2 Sandaius as in defense, as they can't destroy it by battle. They're going to need something compulsory to get rid of one of them. Sometimes you can just win games off that. So lock them into not being able to do anything, while you draw a bunch of cards and stop their plays, and then then you can make more plays yourself. And that's then when I look at this Sky Cavalry Centuria. So this is one of the newer cards that's worked pretty well in this deck. So it can be destroyed as extra materials, and at the end of the damage step, if it battled a monster, you can attach one to bounce that back to the hand. So yeah, this has been my Raccoon deck. I believe this deck is very, very, very good, and potentially like Raccoons as general, especially like this one. I believe they've got a lot of such good matchups. They can potentially easily top events if you're playing the right deck list and you get lucky enough to draw your Obedient Scolds and stuff like that. So yeah, this has been Jackson 100 signing off. Have a good day.